Here's a few things to keep in mind as you're looking ahead to 2024.
Hey there, I'm Jillian Kendrick, and welcome to the Momentum Marketing Podcast. I'm a mama, a wife, an entrepreneur, and a 3-time best-selling co-author. In each episode, you'll get real-world practical advice and strategies, and maybe a parenting tip or two along the way. If you're ready to create a business that supports your family and your lifestyle, then you're in the right place.
Thank you so much. Welcome back. I'm so excited to be here with you today. The inspiration for this podcast episode actually came from a little bit of a habit that I've developed over this past year. And I wanted to share it with you because it's been really important and impactful for me. And if it's done that for me, then I hope it can do that for you as well. As you're looking into 2024 and you're preparing to have New Year's resolutions, you're preparing to do annual planning, you're preparing for maybe what your annual planning, quarterly planning, monthly visionary work is going to look like, this is what I want to share with you to keep in mind. And maybe you can add this to that list because it's been really important for me. So, as I've been creating this podcast throughout this past year, which has been such an incredible journey and like really good to do the thing and keep up with it and make sure we have episodes every single week and have to backtrack a couple of weeks when we get off track, but that's okay. I've been working on finding inspiration in multiple places. So, not just from business or from experience that I have with clients or things that I read in a business book or the networking and professional groups that I'm a part of, but I also realized that there's an incredible amount of intelligence and brilliant ideas from all of these events that I had attended for the past 13 plus years of my illustrious internet marketing career. And I realized that on my computer and in tons of notebooks that I have here in my office on the bookshelf, that I had written down tons of ideas and goals and inspiration and just all this stuff from attending all of these events throughout the years. And some of it I've taken action on it, but if I'm really honest with myself, 95% of it I haven't done anything with. So going back to those, going back and like relearning, relooking, rereading old notebooks of stuff that I had said I wanted to do a decade ago, or had said that, oh, this is a great idea, I should implement this in my business 5 years ago. And then, of course, it never got done, right? We're all guilty of that. But it's been not only a great source of inspiration and content for me, but it's also been a great way for me to look back at my experience and my history and see what I've done and how far I've come and how my goals and priorities have shifted greatly just in the last couple of years, let alone the last decade for sure. And that's what I want to share with you is there's such a difference between hearing advice that you've already heard, but being in a different place in life or a different place in business to then receive that advice. I'm sure that I have received some tremendous advice 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 13 years ago that I just wasn't in the place or level of business to receive or really understand in totality what that advice was or what it really meant for me. And so now when I go and look back on those things, now I can see them through a different lens. I can feel them from a different perspective because I have 13 plus years of experience doing this and running my business. Just very, very, very exciting. And it's been quite a journey, not just to see my own path and my own priorities over the last 13 years, but then to reread some of this advice and some of these ideas and be like, man, I wrote that down 8 years ago. That was really smart. I still want to do that. Okay, now we're going to go implement that thing. So I would encourage you, whether you're going back and looking at old notes, whether you're attending events now live, whether you're doing a virtual summit, whether you're attending networking events or professional groups, if you hear the same advice, the same thing that you've heard for a long time, rather than dismissing it, rather than saying, oh, yeah, we do that. Oh, yeah, I've got that one. Oh, yeah, that's done. check the box, mark the thing off. Rather than having that attitude about it, I would encourage you to say, okay, yes, we're already doing that thing, but how well are we doing it? Could we do it better? Could it be improved? Can we make some changes that could make things faster or more efficient or easier? Or if you hear the same advice, look at it from the lens of when did you hear that advice first and what did it mean to you then versus what does it mean to you now that you're hearing it so many months or years later with the experience that you have now in your life and in your business. And then how can you apply that to your future goals? This is actually an exercise that I'm going to continue to do, not only for the podcast, because it really has been a tremendous source of inspiration and content for me, but also because it's allowed me to like look at my business differently. It's allowed me to hear advice and ideas and strategies that I've already heard, but look at them from different perspectives. And so this process and this exercise is something that I'm going to be adding to my quarterly planning and annual planning sheets. And so every quarter, I'm going to sit down and say, okay, what are the things that I learned or relearned? What's the perspective that I'm relearning that thing in? And what am I going to do about it now, knowing that I don't want to wait another decade to get it done? And then that's going to be integrated into the quarterly and annual planning that I do with my team and that we do to implement inside of our business. So as you're looking forward, as you're looking into 2024, take a step back. Think about the things that you've already done. Can you do them better? Can you do them differently? Can you do them more efficiently? Or even better yet, can you delegate it and have somebody else do it so that it's not on your plate? And what, if any, advice have you heard already or heard multiple times, but you're now in a different stage of life, a different phase of business, and it just hits differently? What can you take from that? As we're headed more and more into the holiday season, I just want to say, God bless you. Please be kind to each other. Please be kind to yourselves. The world needs more of that. And the world needs you. It needs your expertise. It needs your sparkle. It needs your ideas and your creativity. And most of all, it needs your love.
Thanks so much for joining me on this episode of the Momentum Marketing Podcast. If listening to this has brought you value, improved your life, or given you insight on how you can build your own momentum, then please share this with a friend. And if you're ready to grow your business on autopilot, then I want to help you get there easier and faster with a free copy of my Entrepreneur Survival Kit. Just leave a review of this podcast wherever you're listening right now. Hopefully it's a 5-star review and you love it. Then screenshot the review and email the screenshot to hello@JillianKendrick.com. Once we confirm the review, we'll send you a copy of the survival kit totally free. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next episode. All content is written and recorded by Jillian Kendrick. Copyright 2023, all rights reserved.
Subscribe.